it's time to allow the light for gain. Step in the spotlight, grab a seat. Join with wisdom to share. Each video crafted with care. The Jen Hardy Show, oh yeah, it's here. Soak up the sun with glitter and cheer. Shower thoughts to make you think. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Engage with minds both young and old, in conversations wide and bold. From life's big questions to simple joys, we're here with insights, not just noise. The Jen Hardy Show, oh yeah, it's here. Soak up the sun with glitter and cheer. Shower thoughts to make you think. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. The Jen Hardy Show, oh yeah, it's here. Soak up the sun with glitter and cheer. Shower thoughts to make you think. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited. Oh my gosh, you guys, we've got people. It's a raid. That is so exciting. This is going to be amazing. All right. So today I can see you on YouTube, so I'm not delayed, and this is very exciting. Yes, if you guys could like and subscribe. You know what I realized? My original Judge Boyd video has got 100,000 views, which is crazy because now I only have 2,000 subscribers. So I think that we need to get people who are watching the Boyd do the subscribing. So it is great to have you here. And if you haven't do that, we had the most incredible conversation. I've got to tell you guys, she is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Not only because she's a judge and everyone loves her, but she is just a genuinely super, super nice person. And I was going to interview her and then edit the whole thing and try to show the whole thing tonight. And I'm going to tell you, I would have had a nervous breakdown and then there would have been no show. So what we did, and thank you everybody, what we did was there is a little part of edited in the beginning because there was something super cool she said. And the rest of it is just uncut for about 17 minutes. And then on Monday, the whole thing is going to get put out. The really cool thing is that several of the creators, asked me questions. And so what I did was I asked Judge Boyd their questions. And then when we edit it, we're going to stitch them in. So you're going to see 5 of your other favorite creators and YouTubers in this interview when it comes out on Monday. So that's not done today, but it will be done on Monday. And I would list them, but then I'm going to forget somebody and that would be very sad. And yes, Drunk Beaver is definitely one of the people in there. And you should have heard Judge Boyd's or seen Judge Boyd's face when I said your channel name. She was very confused. But that's okay. It was pretty funny. Yes, thank you, Raiders. Thank you so much. You're amazing. So I think what we'll do is we will start by showing that since you're all here and let you see how she was doing. Her dress, I think she tells you where she gets it from. I thought that part was really fascinating. But the beginning part, honestly, is my favorite. So here we go. Boyd. Okay.
Hi, it's good to be back.
It is so great to have you here. People have said in the comments that Stephanie Boyd should run for president.
Aww.
And is running for political office, I know that judge is an elected position, but is that anything that you'd consider in the future?
Oh, well, I never close doors on anything. My mom would always tell me, whatever move you make, whatever you're thinking about doing, you need to pray over it first. So, of course, if there's a need for something and I feel as maybe I can improve it or better someone's life, then of course I'll always keep an open mind to it.
All right. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, lots of people. That's been a big thing.
Oh, that is so sweet that you guys think I would be able to do that. I tell you what, if I were to run and were to be elected, I would do the very best I could.
There we go. And that's all people can ask for.
That's all we can do.
Right. And I think because they see that you're compassionate and fair, and we need more of that. No matter where you are, no matter what side you're on, I don't think it's a one side or the other thing. I think it's everybody. So do you have pets?
I did.
Okay.
And this is what ended up happening. I had a pet and it had to be rehomed. And the reason why it had to be rehomed, and it was rehomed with someone who had lots of pets, who was one of my best friends. So I can always go right next door and visit. But the reason why is because my work schedule was so hectic. I don't think it's fair to have a pet. And then the only time you're spending with the pet is, okay, let's go walk. You do your business. We're coming back in. To me, that's not good for the pet. And I saw
Right.
that that wasn't going to be good for them because at the end of the day, I started losing extra sleep. And I ended up taking on that pet because somebody's like, Stephanie, could you please do this? I'm like, I'm Superwoman. I'm going to do it because this pet needs a home and I'm going to make it happen. And then I realized that wasn't unfair. I mean, that was unfair, but still see him every day. So,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Good. Okay. Because then I feel the same way. You know, it's hard when you leave them at home and you work a lot. And then when you're not working, you travel. And
mm.
so, yeah. And, you know, yeah. Okay.
But I would tell you, if I were retired, I would definitely do it. Or if my work schedule wasn't so chaotic,
Right.
because when I'm in jury trial, it's like you're in a jury trial a long time. And if I didn't have that, I would be able to do it.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Me too. Yeah. I have a little 3-pound
Cats
kitten.
are great too, but I always feel like they're looking at you. They have some questions for you.
Right. Like they're about to take over the world. You know,
Oh, they are.
they've got plans.
But I am allergic to cats. That's one of my other problems.
So am I. There we go. So yeah, yeah. My kids would love a cat, but kids, they're not kids, they're children. Yes. See,
Yes.
every time I think that, I'm like, oh, no, I cannot say it. I cannot.
Yeah.
So, and we talked a lot about your mom last time,
Mhm.
and she has the most incredible advice. So there was a few questions that people had about your mom. One of them is, would you ever think about writing a book with all of your brilliant sayings and the things from your mom?
Oh, I would love to do that. And let me just tell you, I always tell my mom, and I would tell my grandmother when she was alive, I would tell them how great they are. Like my mom doesn't think she's great. She's like, oh no. And I will always write her letters sometime and give her a card. And I always put in there, you know, if I had to choose my mom from all the moms in the world, I would still choose you. And she's just like, yeah, you're just saying that because my mom. So she really, I don't think she's taken stock of the fact that she's such a great parent. And as you know, parents tend to focus on what they think they didn't get right. And so that's where their focus is. It's like, oh my gosh, because sometimes my mom will tell me, you know, I wish I would have made, you know, that event you had on this date and I couldn't do it. Or I wish, you know, that specific day for picture day, I could have been there all day for picture day. And my mom had to work a lot and I understood that. And so I keep telling her, I'm like, Mom, you're a fantastic mom. You left no stone unturned. We always joke, and I always tell my mom, why don't you do something to give me a story to tell that's exciting, like how we were living off the land or something. But I would love to sit down with her and write a book with her. And I was one of the children in our family because of the way the age range was. I was always, you know, my grandmother was babysitting me or I was with my mom. So that was the people I would sit around and listen to. And my grandmother would always say, older people, listen to them because they have some great knowledge to impart. Even my great grandmother, my mom will say things that she said. And my great grandmother wasn't formally educated, but my mom said, you know, when I think back on it, she was giving some great sage advice. My grandmother only graduated as far as 6th grade, but she would give great sage advice. And, you know, I just love my mom. What can I say? I think she's fantastic. I wouldn't trade her for the world.
I think she's fantastic. I love your mom too, and I've never even met her. But, you know, just from the things you say, and I think that says a lot about how she raised you too, is you
Oh,
always have good things to say. So, all right, now on the flip side, if you could go back and change one thing about your life, what would that be? Would you
and
change?
I've thought about that. And I always think about it in terms of It's a Wonderful Life, that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't change anything about my life, and here's why. It's because I don't know if there are changes that I would make would negatively impact someone else. So I wouldn't. Because let's say I would say, you know what? I would have started school and say, hey, mom, I really want to go to kindergarten, because I didn't go to kindergarten. I started first grade. So who knows what would have happened if I would have started kindergarten? Then maybe I wouldn't have met the people that I met in first grade. I would have came in with a different mindset. It's the same thing with my adventure to law school. So I ended up putting letters in the mail. And I thought, I don't know if I told this story last time.
No.
Okay, this is how I decided on what law school I was going to. I got employment. I had just finished grad school. And I said, every check I have, I'm going to use it to send it off to a law school. And at that time, I didn't know that you had to pay to put in an application. So it was like $150. And I was like, well, this is going to get expensive. So I sent it off, I think, to 3 schools. I sent it to St. Mary's. And the reason why I sent it to here in San Antonio is because they had a nice program, and they had where you can actually practice law. And then I sent it to, that's my mom now. I'm sorry, just one second. Do you mind?
Not at all. No, we can cut this
Okay.
out. It's fine.
Okay. No. Oh, well, we don't have to cut it out. I just want to see if she wanted something. Hey, Mom. Hey, I'm doing an interview with Jen Hardy. All right. Is everything okay? Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mom. All right. We'll do. Bye-bye. All right. So anyway, what I did was I sent one to St. Mary's, I sent one to Pepperdine, and I sent one to Hawaii. And my mom said, hey, you know, if you get accepted to Hawaii, you are not going to be able to come home on a regular basis because it's going to be too expensive. But you know, me, I'm just like, I'm going to be in Hawaii. So what ends up happening is I was like, oh my gosh, this is a big decision, you know, where I'm going to go. And my mom said, we're just going to pray over it. And whichever application comes back with an acceptance first, that's where you're going to go. So lo and behold, check the mailbox. And the one that came back first is St. Mary's. So we get on a car, we come to St. Mary's. My mom's like, I love the people. It's a big, ginormous city compared to Shreveport. But she's like, it seems like family here. So this is where you're going to go. I'm like, yeah, this is where we're going to go. I met the dean and everything. So when I come back home, there is a letter in the mailbox, and it's an acceptance letter from Pepperdine, and it's a full scholarship. And I'm like, oh, full scholarship, Pepperdine, because their brochure was so beautiful. It was a brochure of the rocks being hit by water, and it just seems like it was so serene. And my mom's like, yeah, you can't go there because we said we're going to pray over it. So I didn't go to Pepperdine, and in the words of Seinfeld, yada, 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 I ended up with the equivalent of a mortgage in school loans. And I had to sit out a year from St. Mary's because they didn't have any dorm space available. So I sat out an entire year. Now, the expedited route, accept that scholarship to Pepperdine. But who knows what would happen if I would have accepted that. And I would have missed some great people. I would not have been staying in the dorm. And when I was staying in the dorm, I got to meet people who were studying for engineering degrees. So I never like to say, if I could go back, I could change this. It even relates to, I've had a lot of females in my family who passed from breast cancer. And I think to myself, you know what, if I could go back, I'd say, hey, you know what, everybody in this family, we really need to get that breast exam. We really need to do this. But then, you know, when certain people in my family pass, then their children have become adults. They've been married and they've had children. So if that person were to still be around, would they still have gotten married? Would they still have children? Would we not have the children we have? It's just too many variables for me to say I would go back and change anything.
And I think that's beautiful too. And yeah, because
you never know. What's your
We're
one
gonna-
decision? And it
right?
messed the time continuum up.
And why? And something that sometimes the things that we think look like the best,
Mhm.
once they pass, we realize they were not, the
That
best.
is so true. And there's a program, I mean, there was a movie, I think it was called About Time, where this guy could go back in time. And he went back in time because he was trying to reintroduce himself to this girl because he kept making mistakes, right? And then one time he went back in time and he came back, and the person who, I think they had a daughter, and when they came back, it was no longer a daughter, it was now a son,
Oh, wow.
because they kept messing with the timeline. So,
Right.
yeah.
Plus, you're closer to your mom. You could drive there, and I think that, that makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Is there a case, yours or someone else's, that's really stuck with you that you can share? I know there's a lot of things you can't share.
Mhm. Well, I will tell you, there's a case that I had in my past as a defense attorney. And this is why I always stress to my students about being a defense attorney. Each case that you have is a lot of cases for you, but for the person that you represent, that is the most important case in their life. And in this job, it's sort of easy to get jaded, like, oh, I've heard this story a million times. Even when I'm sitting on the bench, sometimes people ask me, people keep coming up with the same stories. How do you do it? And I always tell them, it's, for me, that's the first time that person is telling it to me. So I'm going to treat it as it's new. So I had a client, and this client was telling me they're not guilty of something, right? But all the evidence was pointing towards guilt. And so I had to take a real step back, because sometimes you're just like, this is what the evidence is. This is what it is. And that case brought me back where I'm like, you know what, Stephanie, step away for a little bit, come back, review everything. And I see that client all the time. And she's just like, oh, Stephanie, thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you for just leaving no stone unturned. And I would always leave no stones unturned, but it's just that that case sticks out to me the most because the evidence against that person was piled so high. And it was a matter of wading through everything and leaving no stone unturned. And she's such a great person, and I see her all the time.
That's great. And she was innocent.
Yes.
See, and that's so wonderful.
Oh, see, and that's the rough thing about this job. People will always ask you, oh, when I was a defense attorney, how can you represent someone who did such a horrible thing? And I always have to remind the public, one, you don't know if they did it or not because you were not there. And if you were there, you should not be representing them. And two, think about your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever it is. Would you not want somebody to represent them? A lot of people are okay with, how dare you represent this person or that person, until it's somebody they love. And that's why I stress that everybody's a human being and should be treated as such. But it's hard. And the hardest thing is when you have a client and you 100% believe and say, this person is 100% innocent. That is so terrifying because your heart is just beating. And I've had 4 cases where my heart is just like, of course, my heart would beat all the time because I'm just like, oh. But still, those cases were devastating. And devastating. They were found not guilty, but those cases were devastating because there was so much at stake. And, the family is putting all their hopes, their dreams on you. Like, please do that, and I'm like, hey, I'm not on the jury, but I'm doing the best I can. But they're hard.
So if somebody needs to come to court, maybe they're a defendant or something, do you have advice for people who don't know what they should be doing when they show up?
Yes. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Just 1 second. I just
Okay.
need to sign a document. Thank you. Thanks. And can you have Norman let him know his attorney come back tomorrow? Yes. Thank you. Oh, so here's my advice. coming to court, oh my gosh, it is nerve-wracking. I know it's nerve-wracking for a defendant, but you're trying to put your best foot forward. Nobody's asking people who are accused or people who come to court. I'm not asking you, unless you're an attorney, I'm not asking you to come with a suit, a tie, and all of that, because some people just don't have a suit or a tie laying around. And I would always tell my clients, look, you can come in with a nice pair of jeans and a nice shirt. Just get you a white shirt. That's it. You don't even really need a tie, just a white shirt. And if you want to throw on a sports jacket just for extra, do that. But don't wear shirts that have writings on them. Don't come to court when you're charged with DWI with a shirt that says boozy night, which we've seen. Don't come to court with the marijuana leaf. Now is not the time for you to make a political statement or a statement on society. You just want to fade in. I would always tell my clients, one of the worst things for you is if a judge sort of remembers you, because sometimes they're remembering you because there's some crazy things that have happened in regards to you, or you've done some crazy things. You just want to be nondescript. You just want to come in, be pleasant, no gum chewing, make sure your phones are off, no flip-flops, no shorts, ladies, no low-cut blouses. I actually had a client once who came from a nightclub, straight from the nightclub to court, stayed up all night at the nightclub and came in. And I was like, you're not dressed appropriately. You got to run down to the Goodwill. You got to put on a jacket because the judge is going to be very angry. And so that's the number one rule.
All right. So that is the first, about third, and then we will edit it out and show you the rest. Some of that you would not have seen normally. Yeah. But like me drinking and her signing papers and whatever. But I thought that was really cool for her to just let me be there and be part of things and talk to her mom while I was there and everything. Her mom is so sweet. And she has talked to her mom about being on my show because I have asked. And her mom's not sure about being on video, but I may be able to get an audio, potentially podcast interview with her, which would be so exciting. And Judge Boyd's niece may come on the show. So I'm not exactly sure what she does, but she asked me today if I would have her on, and I said, absolutely. So those are some things that are coming down the pike. There are also some other judges. And so we can talk about what we're going to have coming up because I think it is very exciting. I've got a specialist. She's a psychologist or psychiatrist who specializes in narcissism and works with prisoners who are narcissists. So it's going to be really interesting to do that. She's going to come in the end of the month. I've got a defendant from a case who we don't have defendants, but he was in the military. He worked for a sheriff's office. The sheriff did not like the fact that he had to go on deployment, fought him taking his leave, and ended up sending 4 people to his home, and they drug him to jail, and it's a whole thing. He ended up not getting any charges or anything, but in the court of public opinion, it went really badly for him. So we are going to have him on the show and let him tell his story, which will be fun. And then I've got just somebody that doesn't have anything to do with court. She is a singer-songwriter who happens to be just 19 years old. She's going to come perform because she's amazing and beautiful and sweet. And this way you all are going to say you knew her when, because she is about to skyrocket to number 1. So I think that's going to be really exciting. I met a publicist. Well, I have a local in-person podcast meetup, and I get speakers, and we get some really good speakers because I know people in the podcasting world. And this man drove 2.5 hours to speak at my meeting, and there was only 3 people there, which never happens. And we thought, well, why was that such a waste? That doesn't even make sense. But I also believe that everything happens for a reason. And the reason was because we're going to have a bunch of people that he represents on the show. So it was really cool. And he was very happy when he left that they're getting press. And I was really happy that I have some good people coming on. So we've got that. If there are people that you would like to see on the show, I would love it. Hey, Dave, can you put the Discord? No, you can't. I will put the Discord. Somebody put the Discord link in here. That would be really cool. because if I try to look at that and yeah, then I'm going to forget what I'm saying. So, but join me in the Discord. Let me know. There's a bunch of people that have said who they want. I'm reaching out to those people. I'm very excited because we're trying to negotiate, talking to different judges and lawyers. And, it is, thank you, Martha. I am very excited about it. It's election season. So there's a lot of people that we may not normally be able to interview because maybe they're too big or popular or whatever. But guess what? A lot of people want press right now. So we can reach a little higher and it's going to be really cool. Speaking of reaching higher, I have had the best day today. I could not sleep because I was so excited about talking to Judge Boyd again. I love her so much. I really do. Oh, thank you, Dave, for putting the Discord in there. You guys come join the Discord. It's going to be amazing. And let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to look at, okay. Anyway, so it's going to be really fun. And I just totally lost my train of thought, and I hate it when that happens. Oh, okay. So I couldn't sleep because I was going to talk to Judge Boyd, and yes, and so I was checking my email, and I don't know how this happened. I really don't, because normally this happens for bigger channels, but YouTube has started a new thing. That link didn't work. Okay, I'll get the link. I'll jump over in a minute, but I want to show something really quick because I'm so excited. So my goal is to get the YouTube plaque, which I am so far away from the plaque. You need 100,000 subscribers and whatever. But my goal is next March, and I'm going to hit it. And we're just going to have more and more quality content, so more people want to subscribe because that's how it goes. And but I got invited to do this thing, and I'm going to show you what it is. You ready? It is this. I was invited by YouTube to be part of a YouTube thing. I don't know how it happened. But I would just love it if you would all celebrate with me today because, yeah. So we're going to do some special shorts things. So apparently it's a new creator shorts thingy that my shower thoughts got. I don't know. So anyway, wait, let's see. Oh, is Colin here? I hope Colin's here. I know Colin had a really rough weather thing today. So yeah, that was the whole thing. I'm sorry about the Discord links. I don't know what's going on. It changes. They set it to change every 7 days, and I tried to change it, but it's not doing that. So anyway, Colin, it's so good to see you here. I'm really glad that you made it. I'm sorry about your weather. That just stinks. We actually did some broadcasting in the middle of a hurricane, and you just never know what's going to happen with weather. Fun fact, I tried to show everybody what it sounded like on my microphone, and the microphone will blank out static, and so it thought the storm was static and would not let anyone hear it. So I guess that's a good thing. My shower thoughts are so helpful. I don't know, some of them are kind of ridiculous. I've got to tell you, I've recorded 500 shower thoughts at this point, and I feel like I don't know how many shower thoughts there possibly could be. So if you all have any shower thought ideas, dear goodness, please send them to me, because I need some new thoughts. There's only so much thinking we can do in the shower. So anyway, I love that you are all here. I think we're going to call it at 9:30 tonight, only because it has been a long day. And like I said, I don't think I fell asleep until 5 o'clock this morning. So all of you were getting up, and I was just barely going to sleep. But I think it worked out really well. I know you're going to love the whole thing. And I just want to say thank you. Okay. And I am going to call everybody out now because I have it written down and I don't want to forget everybody. I had questions for Judge Boyd, and in the interview on Monday, you're going to see every one of these creators because they all made a little video question for her, and then I asked the question and we're going to stitch it in. So I just want to say thank you to Meg from Meg's Crime Watch, Lone Wolf, Bill from American Courts, Jonathan from Drunk Beaver, and Colin, because all of you gave the most incredible things. Did I say everybody? And Martha, she gave the question about Judge Boyd writing a book. And if you have not heard, when later on in the interview, I asked her if she would let me help her ghostwrite her book, and that is a possibility. I don't know. That's interesting. I see what you're saying. Okay, yes, Drunk Beaver, that is a good one. Anyway, a few weeks ago, I helped one of my daughter's friends publish her book, and we got a 13-year-old to be an Amazon bestseller, which I thought was pretty huge. And so I told Judge Boyd, and there's a possibility. So there we go. Yeah, it'd be really cool. So I appreciate all of you coming. I appreciate all of you watching. Monday during the day, the video will be released, and you're all going to want to watch it because it's really good. And I will edit it down from its 45 minutes to at least 30 minutes or under so that you're not bored, because I know, a lot of filler. But and then we've got some really exciting people coming up. So definitely stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Apparently, I'm supposed to ask people to do that. I never do. So I'm going to start. If you would do that, that would be very helpful. It helps YouTube know that, hey, this chick doesn't suck, and it puts my stuff out in the algorithm and does all the good things. So yeah, liking's not bad either. Thanks, Dave. Anyway, I love all you. I appreciate you so much. It was so much fun to share this thing with you today. The 13-year-old author. Okay, so she goes by a pen name. And now can I remember what it is? I'm grabbing the book. Hold on. I'm not going anywhere yet. Hold on just a minute. I'll show you. Do I have the book? Is the question. I do. I have the book. All right. You ready? Do. All right. It's going to make a sound. No, it's not. Okay. Ta-da! It is a book about dragons. So if you or anyone you know like books about dragons, it's Myra K. Worker, because she's a 13-year-old girl, and putting her own name out there isn't the best idea because, it can be dangerous. So anyway, this book right here was a #1 Amazon bestseller 2 weeks ago. How fun is that? There is a secret, and if you're publishing a book, I can help you get to the same thing too. And it's really not that hard. So anyway, also you have to write a book to do that. Anyway, yeah. So I encourage you all for $29.95. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So any question? Does anyone have any questions? Any questions about Judge Boyd or anything? I don't know. And thank you, Jay, for saying that. Yeah, it wouldn't be boring. I appreciate that. But, there's certain things, I don't know. I feel like 45 minutes is a really, really long video. But the part about her being president, aw, Dave, that's so sweet. I thought was really, really cool. That the fact that she did not discount being in some sort of office. I don't know if you've looked, the video that I did of her before has 100,000 views and so many comments. It's ludicrous. And a lot of people either want to marry her or vote for her. So that's a thing. Men, women, gay, straight, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to be married to Judge Boyd. Oh, so for those of you watching, this is very important to know. She cannot say if she's married, and she cannot say about children because of safety issues. So we did discuss it today, but it could not be put out there. Someone actually told her not to. So you have to know that that's not going to come out. So yeah, I think because of all the things, there have been fighting in her courts, and there's been fighting in Judge Stevens' courts, and there's been some threatening things, all over. Oh, can you do both marry and vote for her? Yes, you can. Also, one last thing. I guess I'm going to leave later than 9:30. When I was at the airport, speaking of things being dangerous, there were dogs. I don't know if you have ever had to go through dogs at the airport, but it's a little bit terrifying. So it was just my daughter and I, and we were leaving Ohio and coming back here after we got to see Colin, which was so very cool, Colin. And also when Colin did his video, he did it at the park where we got to hang out, which was really cool. But yeah, we were coming back through, and you had to go down this long hallway thing, and one of you on each side, and there's a dog in the middle smelling your suitcase and stuff, and it's a little terrifying. And there were police everywhere in the airport. So anyway, it's a thing. So yeah, we have to keep her safe. So because apparently there's all kinds of crazies. Yeah, and if you haven't watched the Judge Stevens live, we have 2 of them, and he's going to come back again because he really has fun. Those are really fascinating. I need to put the full version up on my website. I cannot put the full version of one of them up here because there is some talk about, unalive stuff that we can't talk about. here, but the story is very intriguing, and so I need to be getting that up on my website. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for the raid, everybody who did that. Thank you for the donation. Well, I guess you don't call it donate, whatever it is, the super chats and the memberships and all the things. You guys, that really helps support, because we did just get some better video equipment because we're making so many videos every day. So I appreciate it. Ooh, wait, I just missed that. Previous judge live. Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be very important. I know Judge Stevens was saying that his information isn't even on records. Like if he goes to pay his taxes, they have to go to a certain place because they don't even have them up. So really important. Anyway, I love you all. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support and the love and everything. Join me over in Discord. I'm going to jump over there, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks.